Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. Obviously, I'm not here in the studio today. I am here in my personal office. I am slammed with appointments today, so I didn't have time to get up to the studio, but wanted to make sure that we threw out some content today. And really what I wanted to talk about were the things that we do here and kind of my system. Because I know you hear me talk a lot about a sales system. You hear me, talk about the first appointments and how kind of things flow. But I want to share with you how that system actually works now that we're here in the office and kind of what a day looks like for me as I come in and I start preparing for, the usually 8 to 9 appointments a day I have. So first thing is on my desk every morning. So when I walk in, I have my files that get put on my desk. So Kimberly are up front. When she books an appointment for us, the first thing that she does is fill out one of these forms. And on the form, this is actually our fact finder. So once the fact finder gets filled out, it's got the person's name that I'm talking to today. It's got their date of birth. It's got the state and city that they live in. It also has the time of my appointment, the date of the first appointment, the marketing piece that they responded to. So for example, on the top of this, it says MFU webinar, which is MyFit University, which is the federal webinar that we've done. So, it's got the webinar, the date of the webinar, and that's really important for me to know because what I like to do is thank people for attending my webinar. So for example, I'm going to make up a name here. If this is Bob, when I call up Bob and say, hey, Bob, this is Ryan Polimeni from Polimeni Tax and Financial Group. Man, I first and foremost just want to say thank you for attending my webinar on the 26th, right? It's right here, on the 26th, and I hope it was helpful for you. And it's a great way to kind of break the ice and really get somebody to start saying, yes, that was so helpful. Thank you so much. And I'll even say, what were some of the things that you picked up on? What are some of the things that you learned from my workshop that you want more information on? And so it allows me to kind of start feeling out from the very beginning where that conversation is going to go. And I'll also say things like, what I want to do today while we're together on the phone is really just find out what specific questions you have. What are some of the things that I can help out with? You see, and I make it very personable, very non-intrusive. Just, hey, what can I help with? And that's the approach that you have to take when you're doing any appointment is how can I help you? It's not, let me show you what I can offer you. How can I help? And that's the approach that I taught every single person in my office and all of our advisors to take that approach. It's an education approach on the marketing, right? We talked a lot about that. Then is followed up by, how can I help you? And people love that because you're not going in and just drilling them on fact finding. What are some things you want to make sure we talk about today? Do you have a list of questions you want to go over today while we're together? Because I want to make sure I take my time and answer everything that you're looking for. You see, it's a very simple way of approaching the person, and it allows you to break that ice because here's the reality. Most of these people who you're going to talk to, they're nervous. Right? They don't know what to expect. They're talking to an advisor. They already got their wall up, because they think you're going to try to sell them something right off the rip. But the reality is this: you're just there to help. You're there to lend a helping hand and to be a resource for them and give them guidance. And you have to let them know that. And the sooner you can do that in your appointment, the more people are going to feel comfortable with you. And that's your job. That's my job, is to make people feel comfortable with the things that we offer. So first thing in the morning, I usually get in here between 8:30 and 8:45 in the morning, and by 9 o'clock, all these files are on my desk. And so if I've got 10 appointments, they're all in order from the beginning to the end. They all have all the information that I need on them, and then I'm able to take notes on them. So for an example, I just had an appointment before we shot this with a gentleman who attended one of my webinars. And, we sat down. I was going through this with him exactly. Hey, thanks for attending my webinar. It was a tax webinar. Thanks for attending my webinar. How can I help? What are some of the questions you have? And his response was, look, this whole thing with Roth conversions has really got me intrigued. I know that tax tables may change in the next 4 years, right? I don't know what the market's going to do. I want to be able to do a conversion. And so it was really great for me to hear that because he's telling me where to take him, where to take that conversation, right? And by knowing my content on what I taught in the webinar allows me to talk about that because he attended my webinar and it was the top 10 tax mistakes that people make before they retire. So in a lot of the times during that webinar, I talked about Roth conversions, and so it's always interesting to see what people pick up on and what they want to talk to about, and that's where this begins. So our journey went from him saying that to me saying, well, what part of the workshop, when you're hearing the Roth conversions, what was it about the conversions that made the most sense to you? And he was like, well, I don't want to have to pay more in RMDs when I'm 72, and I don't want to have to go up to a next higher tax bracket. So I'm 62 now. If I do these conversions over the next 10 years, is it possible for me to stay in the lower tax bracket? That's where the conversation begins. And I loved it because I was able to take an hour and go through a tax plan with him and say, yeah, look, based on this, if we do this, this will keep you in a lower tax bracket. Your RMDs could potentially be $40,000, when you turn 72. And what we want to do is eliminate that. Phone's ringing 24/7. It's a good thing, right? Again, I want you to see live today. This phone rings all the time, and the girls answer it. But that's how the conversation should go. So again, part of my system is when I walk in the morning, these are on my desk. I've got my calendar open, and then we begin the process. And so after that appointment, what I then do is I take notes, and obviously I want to book a meeting from a meeting. So I like to book my second appointment. So what I did with the gentleman this morning is I said, listen, I'm going to get my business partner who handles our wealth management division, because there was really no annuity opportunity. There's no life insurance opportunity here. The majority of what this was an AUM case with a Roth conversion, which we do a lot of here now because it's a great way to work with your clients and show them how to do things on a more tax efficient basis. So after the appointment, I took down all my notes, and there were several things that I needed. I booked a meeting right from there, and then after that appointment, I take my form back over to either Candace or to Kimberly, depending on the opportunity, and I say, this is what it is. We need a risk assessment link sent out. We need a webinar link sent out. We need our fee structure sent out. We need a Polimeni Tax and Financial Group client file sent out. So they get a lot of things to keep giving us the credibility between now and the next time we meet that person. We want to keep things hot, obviously between now and that appointment, because things could cool down and they may say, oh yeah, I thought about it. We want to make sure that we stay on top of them and give them as much information on us as humanly possible, which is why I keep preaching to all of you. You have to have this built out. You have to have marketing material. You have to have things on your firm. Your website's got to be top notch. The client experience has got to be top notch. If I say today that my staff is going to send you this, and this, and it doesn't get sent, I'm losing credibility very quickly. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. All right, so and then I've got all my same thing's going to happen throughout this entire day. Okay, one after another, and the nice thing is have your team that allows you to pivot off there. So all I have to do is show up and perform. That's it. You have to find a way for you to do the same thing, to show up and perform. I don't do paperwork because I suck at it and I'll mess it up. I don't do organization on the calendar. As a matter of fact, I'm not even allowed to touch my calendar because I'll screw it up. There's a lot of things that I don't do because I will mess them up. And my time is more valuable than making phone calls. So I have someone do it for me. So while I'm here doing a $500,000 Roth conversion, I'm getting 10 more appointments booked during that hour. You see what I'm saying? That's efficiency. And then while I'm having 10 more appointments booked and I'm on my next appointment, my director of client management is in the next room setting up a new client in their portal and finding more opportunities that maybe I missed, or maybe, they're a client from last year. We didn't roll over all their money. Now they want to do it. It's unbelievable how much money we find year after year just by onboarding clients and keeping up with them. So there's a lot of things going on in this office all day long, and all I have to do is show up and perform and be 1% better than I was yesterday. That's what you should strive for. You should strive to be 1% better than you were yesterday. What is something you can learn? In the morning, before I even get here, I'm reading news on our industry. And I send my business partner, text messages every morning on, hey, did you see this company acquired this company? Did you see that this tax law changed? Did you see that this estate planning rule changed? Did you see this? Did you see this? And I'm learning every single day. So when I come here in the morning, my mind is just full of all the most recent content and things that I need to know, right? Because I'm consuming things every single morning while I'm having my coffee, so I get sharper every day, 1% better. It's how you should operate. All right, so then another thing that I like to do when I come in, and you can probably see my screen here, is we check a few things on a daily basis. we check, number one, our upcoming webinars. So I have 3 webinars coming up next week, March 17th and the 19th. And you can see, so when we do the marketing for our webinars, I'm doing one for federal employees, Roth versus traditional. And this just started actually on Saturday. So everything started dripping out. And already we have 75 people registered for our 3, and we still have another week. So on average, we have between 250 to 300 people sign up for every single one of our webinars, and it's because of the way that we do our marketing. So as you hear me preach a lot, you need to know what niche you're in. You know, what niche market are you in? And we do a lot in the federal. We also do things in other industries. But I wanted you to see. So I come in, I check this in the morning. I want to see, where we are. This is usually at 8:30 before we kind of get started. A couple other things that I look at too is I go into our CRM system. And what I love about our CRM system is it shows us what opportunities are we working on? Not just me, but my business partners. So this is just for the 2 of us. This is not like, all my advisors around the country. This is just for the 2 of us. So I come in and I look at it, and obviously this is really blown up because we wanted to keep clients' names off, but you can see like we have 14 open opportunities right now on somebody that we have second appointments with that we haven't yet closed. And so right now we have $5.9 million in potential opportunities. Last month we closed $1.92 million. We had an opportunity for a $60,000 sale that just didn't go our way. That happens too. We don't close everything, but it's a pretty good ratio, right, between our closed and won from last month with our open opportunities. So this $5.9 million is a combination of AUM. It's annuities, it is IULs. And so this is really important because I live and die by my CRM system. And some of you don't even have a CRM. Some of you don't even know what CRM stands for, right? And that's a big problem because when I was selling mortgage protection life insurance, I didn't use these systems. And it was just like chaotic. And I wasn't effective and I wasn't efficient. But now, when you have something like this, where you have an opportunities tab that says, hey, this is open, and it reminds me that, oh, yeah, we got these clients that I have an appointment with. Or I get to go back and I see my notes from the appointments and all of the documents have been loaded. So again, part of when I'm done with an appointment and I have a second appointment, while, my office here, my team here is sending the confirmation emails for the second appointment, the risk assessment link, whatever else we send, the other part of it is all of the files are now being loaded into the CRM. So that client profile is being completed. All the notes that I took and all the documents that they sent, it's all in the vault. So now when I go back for my second appointment, I've got everything right here. And I can go back and say, oh, yeah, that's right. This was the opportunity. This is what we were looking for. I said this. They want to know this. So it allows me to stay really focused. It allows me to, kind of stay on point because, look, when you're working with 14 more other people with 5.9 million, that's a lot of business that you have to kind of keep track of in your mind. And I don't try to keep track of it in my mind. We have a system that keeps track of everything for us. So when it's time to do case design for that client, I'm able to pull everything back and say, okay, yeah, this is what we had talked about. And now we're doing a tax plan. Now we're doing an AUM. Now we're doing an annuity. This is a IUL case. Whatever it is, it's labeled in here too. And again, what you don't see, because this is blown up, I don't want to show any names, but what you don't see in the CRM system is also things like who's the advisor working on the case? Where did that lead come from? See, we track referrals. We track the webinars that it came from, the seminar that it came from. We track all these things. And it's really important because this one system keeps track of everything. We use Redtail technology, so Redtail CRM, phenomenal CRM. It's actually built for financial advisors and agents. So it's a really good system to use. So again, that's what we like to use here. The other system that we use for our client portal is Right Capital. And again, I'm not promoting any of these companies. I'm just telling you what we use, okay? I don't get paid to promote this stuff. This is what we use. It's what we're comfortable with. It allows clients to build a custom, portal and allow our clients to load up their own documents. So if I say, hey, I need you to send me your last 2 years tax returns, they put it right up in the vault. It's a secure place. If we want them, as they become a client, we have them connect all their pieces of finances all in one spot. And a lot of the times, that's how we're finding millions of dollars of maybe AUM opportunity. Maybe we wrote an annuity last year and there's still $300,000 left in that 401k, when we have them in their portal, we're able to track and monitor, see how much we manage versus how much we don't manage. It's a great tool for us to go back in and say, you know what, hey, you still have that 400,000 that we didn't move last year. Let's look at doing that under management. Let us help you grow it during these volatile times. Who's helping you? Is your 401k company reaching out to you and helping you manage it? Probably not. Let's do more of a professional. So then we're able to do that. We've also have a year's worth of established, relationship with those clients. And that's why keeping track of everything is so important. Having a client portal is important. Having your CRM up to date is so important. And the technology use is so important. So again, I wanted you to kind of get a glimpse into what my day looks like and how we operate here. We have a lot of boot camps coming up. We're going to talk a lot about this because I wish I had 5 hours to sit here with you, but during the boot camps, we're going to talk about these things that are coming up. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. But I wanted you to see kind of what a day looks like here, what we use, how my day is structured as I come in here. You can see I've got my TV here. I know we'll zoom in on that for a second. I typically have Bloomberg going on. We look at stocks. So again, I'm constantly watching this stuff so that when the clients when I'm talking to somebody, I can say, look, the market's down. The market is down, 200 points or whatever it is, and we can have those conversations. But the reality is I see it in the morning, and the rest of the day I usually have South Park on. So that's just it's just what I do. So we try to take everything too seriously here, but no, the reality is that you know your business, right? Know the industry, know what's happening in the market, because if you're going to have these kind of intelligent conversations with your clients, it's important to know what's going on. So with that, thanks for watching this episode of The Agent's Edge. If you like it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment if this has been helpful for you, and lastly, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Share this with your team. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.